fired up. It's made a great decision.
Great teammates, coaches, and other people who want to be Super Bowl champions. And we are. We're going to do it this year.
And we're going places because we want to go places.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
Before long, we're going to be the last one standing.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are back to take a look at some more All-22 for the Lions against the Minnesota Vikings from Week 3 in that 28-24 loss. Yes, we are moving on to the Seattle game, but we do like to take a look at how the Lions performed the week before, what we can take away from that. And in this video, we are specifically focused on the Lions offense and that passing game. You guys in the comment section seem to want to see that, specifically focusing on Jared Goff and this passing attack. And I felt like just by the original eye test, and even after watching it, that this was the best game that Jared Goff has played to this point, and at the same time, just the most efficient this past game has looked. Could have potentially broke this game open. It was not perfect. However, it was a really darn good game, and I think a lot of that stemmed from what we were really able to do through the play action. We talk about it all the time. The Lions can run the ball, so then play action is set up off of that. But if you're not actually being effective in play action, then really what does all that talk mean? It means nothing. But in this game, we did so much off of the play action, helped Jared Goff look very efficient. His stats look good because of that, and at the same time, I also thought it built some confidence for him and in these receivers as the game went on. And specifically with Jared Goff, his stats on the day was 25 for 41 for 277, a touchdown and an interception. He finished with like a 73 quarterback rating, which I think 50 is average. With that, though, we know that his stats really were worse because of that final, drive with less than a minute, no timeouts. It ended up with an interception. You take out that drive heading into that, he was 24 for 37, and he had a touchdown, no picks. I believe his pass rating was above 100. That's not too important, but I think it does showcase the kind of day that he had and really this pass offense had. But again, give a lot of credit to the run game because we know this Vikings team was a very heavy, too high safety type of team coming in. But as Ben Johnson said, they hadn't played a team like us. All right, Philly was different. They like to spread you out. Aaron Rodgers' Packers like to spread you out. We will go heavy formations. We will go play action, and we will run the football. And it really seemed to give the Minnesota Vikings some issues, specifically in the second half. They started to really rotate a safety down into the box a lot to help out against the run and opened up some opportunities for us. Yes, we did leave some things on the table for sure, whether it was the Josh Reynolds bomb, whether it was two guys running into each other. We left some things out there. It was not perfect, but it was pretty darn good. And I think this was great, especially on the road. We didn't have those seemingly communication errors offensively. We didn't have a ton of flags offensively that was just killing us. We had some questionable decisions in terms of play calling. We may take a look at a few of those, but we're not taking a look at every single play because we will be here all day. You, of course, have to start off with the play action. It was the first reception. I think this was the first pass play of the game. It's the second play of the game for the Lions, and it was a pass to DJ Chark for 23 yards. This first one, we're going to start off with a little bit of a dagger concept the Lions are going to set up here. Now, one thing that you did see on the film with the Vikings, they like to play their two high looks, so a lot of times they would have their safeties across from the slot receiver in base packages, as you can see here. So the Lions go with a heavy personnel set. It looks like they have Matt Nelson in there as well as an inline tight end, so heavy personnel here, and at the same time, they're going to have Hockenson in the slot, which means that there is no slot corner over him. You can see they're only playing 4 defensive backs on this play, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're kind of making that umbrella. So the Lions come out, try to exploit that, and they do that with a play action dagger concept. Of course, here you have Hockenson run it deep like a seam route, and then you have DJ Chark coming underneath with a deep dig route. So let's take a look at how this one plays out for the Lions. I think this was great timing, and we're also going to take a look at the pass protection as well. You can see this one's a little bit blurry. The rest won't be like this, I don't think. Evan Brown on Jonathan Bullard. This is good pass protection. Okay, I'll showcase that a little bit here and there when it does stick out. But in this play, as you can see, they have matched up Cameron Bynum on TJ Hockenson, okay? So this is kind of just an easy setup. You have good pass protection. The depth that you're getting with these routes pretty much takes the linebackers out of the play after the play action, and at the same time, you're going to have Swift leak out, which is another thing they just kind of got to pay attention to here. However, and Brock Wright as well. But pretty simple. You got a one-on-one to the outside with DJ Chark. He's going to have no help once you set this up and TJ Hockenson runs vertical. So we'll take a look at it one more time. You can see they're going to change over to rolling the safety over top to make it look like a, cover one type of look defensively. But either way, it's a pretty easy hit for the Lions. Good timing on the route as well, right into the window. It's a good start for the Lions offense. I won't spend too much time on that one. Once again, this one is to DJ Chark. We're going to be looking at a cover 3 blitz on this play. Shannon Sullivan is going to blitz off the edge edge here. That motion for Amon-Ra St. Brown, that's going to end up taking Hicks, and that's going to be something that he's going to have to pay attention to, okay, because they are in zone coverage here. If that wasn't there, he could probably drop and get some more depth, but he's going to have to pay attention to that. Again, they use the run fake and Swift, so there you go. Linebacker squeezes up a little bit, but it's really all happens on the outside here. You can see how DJ Chark is really pushing that outside corner who's going to be playing outside leverage, and it's a really nice route. Once again, good timing. He kind of just breaks it off and sits down, does not run himself back into this single high safety, and he puts it on him. Really well done. I mean, you could say, well, it's a little bit behind, whatever. He's throwing it into the zone. It's well done. It's a good completion. I know it's got like a weird flickering thing going on for this play, but I'll show it from this angle just one more time. Okay, you can see Sullivan off the edge here. And I actually like how Penei Sewell tried, because he didn't really show it pre-snap, but he tried to get some contact here. At first, you're like, well, Penei Sewell blew the block, but nah, he's on the inside here against 55, and they're also in this run set, right? This run fake set. So because of that, right, the pass protection is a little bit different because you're doing like the split zone type of look in pass protection. You can see Brock Wright comes around, picks up the edge rusher. So Sewell has to try to recover and try to see if he can help on Sullivan. I think maybe he just gets enough of them to allow this ball to get off. Whatever reason, the screen is flashing here, so feel free to skip past this play. But the Lions, I'm going to try to just pause it and show. Oh, gosh, I don't know why that's happening. But they're going with, again, 4 defensive backs on this play. You can see how soft they are in coverage, deep cornerback, deep safety, right? So the Lions are going to do something. I think they did this last week as well. They're basically just going to set up a quick swing pass. But I think what's well done here is the edge rusher, number 99. I believe that's Danielle Hunter. Yeah, that was slipping my mind for a second. He's actually going to hop out here and make this play on Swift. It's a well done job by him because it makes sense. It's like, okay, yeah, the linebacker's going to see this, route. He's going to kind of get pulled by that, so you get his quick swing pass. But it's a good job by Hunter getting out there and taking this away from Swift. Giving a similar look to what we kind of just saw, another play action here. This is the next drive. We're getting something similar to what we just saw, right? So again, you can see they only have 4 defensive backs on this play. The linebackers last time were kind of staying inside the box. So Lions are going to do another play action, but watch the timing of this. I love how the timing of this plays out. Everybody like, oh, it's a check down. We hate check down. No, I love check downs. I do, especially when you're setting it up like this. So again, same kind of split zone look. There's your play action. This time, however, he upped the seam. You can see the coverage is going to be a little bit different. They're giving you like a cover 2 look defensively here. And when that happens, a lot of times that seam route, you'll see linebackers will end up carrying that route up the field. If you have a 2-on-1 on a safety, it's very difficult to cover. So as DJ Chark basically runs up the seam here, you're going to see Eric Kendricks is going to pick that up and try to carry. There is no other guy on this side of the field that looks like he's going to be, a weapon that they have to worry about, so they can stay in this coverage. But this play action, then he comes back to Jamal Williams, and I love the timing of it. You can see how much depth is being created here on Cam Dantzler. He's not going to sit underneath because there's no one on that side of the field for him to worry about. But then all of a sudden, Jamal kind of sneaks out late, and you can see how much distance, 5'10", about 15 yards, he is away from Jamal Williams, and it's easy. You check it down to him. Again, set up off the play action. And now look, this is what Jamal's supposed to do in open space, right? You're on a cornerback, make him miss. Boom. Hey, who says Jamal don't got a little scoot to him? Okay, I see with the elusiveness. Jamal making a play with the ball in his hand, 17-yard pickup. And then I think the Lions did a good job of kind of using and adjusting to, and well, I think Jared Goff actually will see it on the drag route a little bit later in this game. But as you can see, this is maybe the out route that everybody kind of points to. For the most part, there actually wasn't a lot of passes that ended up like this, and later they come back and he kind of fakes it and hits the drag route. It was really nice. But on this play, the Lions need about 5 yards. This is something the Lions do a lot, right? St. Brown's going to start to kind of work inside to break out quickly, and you're trying to hit this out route. I think part of the issue here is that you have cornerback here that has linebacker help towards the inside, so we can kind of sit on that a little bit more. And this pass, I would say, to me, I think this pass is just too far outside. I think that's what this one is. We talked about this in the past. Like, this is a tough pass to hit because he's not the biggest target. But to me, this throw was just a little bit too far outside for Goff. I think he has it. He looks it off, and he comes back to it, and I think he has this route. He just throws it too far outside. Either way, he's going to be like working right on the sticks on this speed out route. Regardless, it's incomplete. Someone said they were looking for maybe like to have like a white mouse or yellow mouse or something that's easier to see. I'll have to keep looking in to try to how to do that, but I can draw on the page. So we'll do that for this play. I'll draw on it, kind of show you what happens here. So this is the 4th down attempt. The Lions are going to pick it up. It's honestly pretty simple how they pick it up. So they're going to be running a cover 1 blitz. All right, so here's your 5 rushers that the Minnesota is going to be bringing on this play. And in the back end, of course, that means you're playing man coverage. So let's take a look. So you have man coverage. This is going to be basically impossible to cover for a defense. I'm not sure why this is still all green. Either way, I don't know. This is still green for some reason. So cover 1. Now what's going to happen is here, yes, it's still going to be in green because I clearly don't know how to change the color. St. Brown's going to run like a drag route. He's on the outside, though, so they're going to have to pass this off, but it's still very difficult. Chark is going to run like a deep crossing route, okay, and you're going to see how this is going to play out. And on top of that, DeAndre Swift, I believe he's going to work himself out of the backfield, which is going to take attention of this linebacker away, so he can't just sit there in the hole. And because they bring the blitz, there really is no hole defender. You only have the single high safety, right? So there's no one over the middle that can help against this crossing route. Once you see that it's a blitz, now you know, okay, one linebacker. So what a Lions got to do? Swift, you go out of the backfield. Either he covers you or you're going to be wide open. It's one of the two. If they're going to play man coverage, that's what's going to happen here. They may have had a sense of this based on kind of maybe, I don't know, maybe what Minnesota has done, and it's like this is something that they normally do. It's exactly how it happens. Okay, he shows some rush late, but he's not going to bring it. So he's going to take your running back out of the backfield. Boom, you got man across here. Really basically uncoverable, right? You're going to have to pass this off, but because of the distance, right? There's already distance created just because of the way that they line up. Let's take a look at it here. There's already distance created because of how they line up. Chark is going to work upfield. You can see that. Now there's that space, there's that separation created, and it's just a drag route that he has to try to catch up with. It's easy money for Goff in this Lions offense, and it picks up a 30-yard gain. Evan Brown is going to be beat in the inside. They put Zadarius Smith in the inside. That's one thing that they like to do, so I'm sure the Lions like understood the tendency of how this was probably going to go down. And you have Cameron Bynum, right? We talked about it, safeties. So they have a safety on a slot receiver here. He's playing off man, so I like how Goff looks at Cameron Bynum. You can see he looks that direction to put the emphasis and the focus on, hey, you got to cover that guy. Because if I'm looking here, he might be able to start to peek and find this drag is coming, and I guess this is kind of a drive kind of look, and again, it just all comes into his passing vision. I think that's another thing that Ben Johnson has done really well up to this point, even going back to last year, is he does a nice job of starting your progressions on one side of the field, and then in your vision comes back the other progression, so he gets to see a lot of things without having to look a lot of different places, and that helps him a ton here. And again, boom, set up a big route, easy money. This play, I won't spend too much time on it, but you're going to get a free rusher defensively here, and we'll see how that takes place. So how does this free rusher come about? Well, one thing is Eric Kendricks kind of walks up late here, which makes it tough because now you're basically putting the center 2 on 1. You can see some outside alignments, and they're going to rush towards the outside of these guards. And, I mean, you just kind of need, like, quicker communication on this because the tackles can help, but the tackles can't help immediately because the edge rushers are showing pressure once again. So they can't help. So they're going to end up dropping here. Okay, so what it looks like, oh, it's a blitz. It's actually not a blitz. It's only a 4-man rush, but it's tough as the linebacker works up late. You're putting the center 2 on 1. The guards, who are 2 young guards, don't necessarily see it quick enough, and now you just have a free rusher for Eric Kendricks. But again, I think it's a good job here for Goff to get outside the pocket and not take that sack. So it's all about the chunk plays in the pass game, and the Lions, as we've already seen, is getting a lot of this through play action. So let's do it again. Why not? It's working. Let's do it again. So another chunk play Lions are going to pick up through play action. The first thing I want to focus on is Jamal Williams' block pickup here because Evan Brown is going to be beat immediately, but Jamal basically saves the day. Let's take a look at this. You can see he's beat immediately off the line here. Inside penetration. It is a play action. So Jamal immediately picks up that block. That's awesome. Now, I like Dalvin Cook for this reason, is Dalvin Cook will just end the play action and will pick up a free rusher if he notices this. And I mean, Jamal is like right in his line of vision, so it's a little bit easier. But you can see, boom, he just takes away that free pass rusher that sets up this big shot play. So it was this shot play. Sets up this shot play to Josh Reynolds, which is awesome. Also, you're going to get this pre-snap motion with Amon-Ra St. Brown right across the field, so it looks like they give a little bit of a tell of man coverage here with Shannon Sullivan going across, so now you're getting that sense as well. Safety is working his way into the box. This is Matt Nelson, so there's really no other weapon on this side of the field other than Jamal, but as we said, hey look, they want to play all this too high, but if we're running the football, now your safety starts to creep into the box. That's what you're seeing here with Cameron Bynum. He starts to creep his way down into the box. You have man coverage with basically a whole defender, and at the same time, what I also like about this is St. Brown is basically in the way of Cameron Bynum on this. It kind of just worked out that way, but it's simple, right? It's pretty simple concept you got going here. It's man coverage, and the safety has to make a decision because you're only playing one deep now at this point, and that's Josh Metellus. And it's pretty simple for us. DJ Chark wins off the line. You got a one-on-one here with Cam Dantzler. Goff, again, it's all in the side of vision. He can see the safety. He can see this deep route. And then he can see Josh come across. So all he has to do is see, okay, safety, is he carrying this deep route? He is. Easy. All right, I'm coming right back underneath then to Josh Reynolds. Your guys win the one-on-ones, and it's a big completion. You can see how they line up, how this could already look like an immediate problem for the defense. They kind of overload this left side quickly, and the defense doesn't have much time to react to it. But they kind of react well on the fly. So you got Hawk, you got St. Brown, and you got Josh Josh Reynolds, they kind of react on the fly. It looks like, okay, hey, if this is man coverage, then boom, 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 that's your man coverage. That's going to be an issue. So it more so looks like a cover 3. TJ Hockenson is going to check, and then he's going to release into the flat. So they immediately pass this thing off. Let's look. You see how he checks and stays and pauses? So he's going to release to the flat. Now all of a sudden, the cornerback is focused on Amon-Ra St. Brown. Well, St. Brown's not running a route. He's going to just set inside and set up a block. Okay, now it's up to this cornerback to try to get out there into the flat on this route, which is going to be difficult. And as Josh Reynolds does, he basically sets a screen on this play. And because they're in this kind of zone look, even against man, I think this would have probably worked. The Lions really didn't care what coverage they were in here. It was just making it really tough on these guys to react on the fly with all this movement going on. And you get a wide open, uncovered TJ Hockenson to walk into the end zone. We're getting another cover 1 look as this safety is going to work downhill because, of course, someone has to have the tight end. And once you see the safety work downhill, I think it kind of gives you a tell that, yeah, this is probably man coverage. Now, Za'Darius, as you can see, he's actually going to get ran into by TJ Hockenson because he's not actually running a route. But someone's got to pay attention to Hockenson just because he's on the field. We know that he's a big-time receiving threat for us. So Metellus slides down. Dantzler gives him a little more space. You get man coverage. You're going to get this man blitz. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Za'Darius bringing the pressure as well. And it's simple. They're just going to run a speed out route on Cam Dantzler. Good timing, good ball, right on the money. But they'd said somehow that he was short of the first down by like 2 yards. You do the short motion in, and you can try to change some assignments, I think, a little bit here, because if this is man coverage, now based on how they're lined up, you could try to get Kendricks on Khalif, you can get the cornerback on the tight end, and you get this outside cornerback on our receiver. That does not happen. They end up playing it a little bit differently, so take a look at how this is played. All right, Sullivan is still going to match up with Khalif Raymond. He gets out there, and this outside corner is going to be taken, and it is man coverage. He's going to be taken by our receiver, and then you have the tight end, who Eric Kendricks is going to try to pick up. Now, Eric Kendricks, because of where he's at, he's immediately going to be trailing this route. He's not in a spot because, again, look at the play action. Let's take a look at it. Boom, there's play action. He bites down. So now he's immediately trailing here. And because of the spacing, he's trailing here. So now you have to have the safety help. You only have one high safety. You have the underneath safety here in Josh Metellus, again, trying to stop the run. So now you have the single high safety who's going to have to slide over and take this route. Play action. As you see, Dantzler's going to be covering this drag route. They're trying to get this to Khalif Raymond, but he covers it up well. But Goff doesn't panic and just throw this route because, again, I like how Ben Johnson is setting up these progressions where, hey, look, this is where you're looking, but your second read can come back through where you're already looking. So now I don't need you to completely flip the field. It's a 3rd down and 2. We can't have this take forever. So now you got to flip the field. So Craig tries to get this block. He basically misses this, and you don't expect him to hold up very long, but he completely blows this block. All right, so he's looking that way, but you have this drag route, Josh Metellus, who's going to be dropping into the hole of coverage here. He's going to be helping out against, being that he's on the right side of the field. So this drag by the outside receiver is going to end up taking multiple players. Boom. It's going to take this linebacker. It's going to also take the whole player. Now it's one-on-one with DJ Chark. He ends up avoiding the pressure, getting back to his second read. That was not the initial read, and finding DJ Chark for a first down. Now this play action shot is going to be covered pretty darn well, especially on the fly by this defense, but they're going to give us a sense of something that they're going to do a lot in this game, which is cover 6. So you already kind of see it pre-snap. This is something that I think could be determined a little bit more pre-snap, and they covered it up well. But you can see cover 2 sides giving on this side. You can see how much in the flat that Cam Dantzler is already lining up on Khalif Raymond, which means this deep safety is going to start to slide over. And here you have this cover 4 side, so you have 2 guys that are going to work to stay on top of the routes. You're going to do this fast motion across, which is going to turn it into a swing route, but clearly you can see Goff is looking for this corner route. Now this would be here if this was, say, a cover 4 look. This corner route would likely be there because both the cornerback and safety would be dropping deep, but a big thing here is that Eric Kendricks, they try to use this fast motion to me to take the attention of, hey, linebacker, go take this fast motion. The issue is because they're in this cover 6 look, and this could have been something that pre-snap that they decided on, because they're in that the linebacker already has a guy that can take that, which is his cornerback. He knows that the cornerback can take this route, and Kendricks is fast to respond to things. So because he knows that he doesn't need to worry about this fast motion across, he just picks up TJ Hockenson. Again, you're running vertical, you have one deep safety, he's going to have to carry because otherwise it's a 2-on-1 that the safety has to try to worry about, and Goff, that route is taken away, so basically takes away everything on this play. There's nowhere for him to really go with the football. The cover 4 on the top here, you're going to have the cornerback pass off to the safety, so the deep dig is not there, and there's nowhere to go with the football. But again, I like how he's able to get outside the pocket and avoid the rush and not take a sack. This is a play where you could easily get sacked. We know he's not the most athletic quarterback, but he doesn't take a sack here, which is huge. Let's take a look at it from this angle. You can see the kind of play design, but this is one of those occasions where their coverage holds up, and they have the right coverage for what we're trying to do offensively. There you go. but it's also good pass protection as well, because this could have been a sack much quicker. So shout out to them. Let's give them some love as well. Look at this. This is a 4-man rush. They pass protect really well one-on-one. Look at this. Look at Dan Skipper. Okay, I see you. Frank Ragnow doing well. And of course, who is this on the right side? Is that my man? Who is that? I can't even tell that. Is that Evan Brown? I don't know. I think that was Evan Brown over here. Yeah, look at Evan Brown. Okay, we see you, Evan. There you go. So because it's such good pass protection, allows him to throw it away. All right, very simple here. Another cover one look defensively. The linebacker is not going to leave the box. Why? Because, hey, he's matched up here with TJ Hockenson. So you're putting a safety on a slot. Minnesota likes to do this. I think you're taking advantage of some tendencies here, and it's simple. So we talk about getting Hawk involved. Well, they're trying to get matchups, as we've seen. They're trying to take advantage of what the coverage is showing them and what the coverage is giving them. You'll even see, like, they put DJ Chark in a slot at one point in this game, which is like, ooh, wait till we get J-Mo back and they can start doing things like that. But easy enough here, right? You got the man coverage look, all right? One-on-one with the safety, and it's simple. You're going to run this deep route on the outside and the out route underneath. The Lions did this a ton last year. You get this matchup. It's an easy read for the quarterback, and he puts it on him. It's really away from Josh Metellus on this play. He ends up being short, which is going to lead to the 4th down that we don't pick up. Honestly, I'm not too, I mean, I can see why people were upset with this one, because it led to like their first touchdown or second touchdown drive. I can see why people are upset. To me, I wasn't too mad about this decision to go for it, because I thought we were converting at a pretty high level and we had some good things for their defense. And in that situation, they may have already made a decision to do that. I think he picked up more than what they gave him. But this is the 4th down play that ends up, we don't convert this 4th down play. Now, again, I credit Eric Kendricks. He ended up playing in this game, and I think he makes a fantastic play on this one. Take a look at how this works. So pre-snap, you can see here comes the fast motion. So Eric Kendrick does a great job understanding that they're playing man coverage in a short yardage situation of knowing that the safety is going to take this fast motion across, and now Kendrick's responsibility has shifted to TJ Hockenson. He reacts to this fast without even really showing that he's reacting to that. It's a good job by him, because initially, here's the short in by TJ Hockenson, right? The responsibility is, hey, look, safety, you have TJ Hockenson, and then linebacker Eric Kendricks, you can focus on the running back. But they bring this fast motion, so now immediately they're having to communicate. It's kind of like the red zone where you're forcing teams to communicate. They communicate without even communicating. Does a great job. Doesn't really sell completely and funnel in on this run. He ends up getting back, seeing TJ Hockenson release, and he ends up covering it up. I mean, that's the route there was to go to. He covered it up. Give credit to them. The deep shot the Lions missed. It's another cover six look by the defense. Okay, so as we've seen before, how this is going to work out, Minnesota really doesn't change much on how they're going to play this. You can see he squeezes it inside. So now here is the cover 2 side. The top of the screen is going to be your cover 4 defensively, which basically makes it a one-on-one on the outside. And I like how they basically funnel everything in with TJ Hockenson's route as well. Watch this. You see how they kind of funnel it in? Okay, so because it's the cover 4, you have this safety. There's really no route. He's going to chip, and then he's going to release into a drag route. So they kind of funnel everything in this way. DJ Chark is funneling in this way, so the cornerback kind of feels that. And now it's a one-on-one. Double move, boom, gets outside, and it's almost as if he just did not expect the ball. Yes, there could have been a potential hole here for him to throw into, but if Goff looks that way, that hole's probably going to be covered up, as the cornerback is probably going to drop in to get more depth. Let's take a look at what DeAndre Swift does on this play. You can see he stays in, and he's going to cross the field that way. So the cornerback probably would have continued to get depth, because there's not a lot that he has to worry about here. So Goff goes to the right direction. You got a one-on-one. You trust your guy to win that, and he does. It's almost as if he just didn't expect the ball. Yes, he was, tugged on a little bit there, maybe, but he doesn't even look for it. He just does not know where the ball is. He kind of gives up on it, and he had him beat for a potential touchdown. It's just unfortunate. This is like a little bit of a levels look from the Lions here, and again, I like that because everything is coming back into his field of vision. But Jared Goff pre-snap feels like he has the route that he wants here. He feels like he has the matchup that he wants, which is Amon-Ra St. Brown, and they're not afraid to take this. He does the same thing with the tight end. He's got St. Brown working on a linebacker here. Okay, so you get this levels look offensively, like their kind of own version of it. The only thing I would say, okay, now this side you can usually run like whatever you want. Here they're going to run like a seam and then an out route. Here you get all the levels. You can see here's the drag, here's the in route, and here's another in route. So you have everything working back. If you don't like that first read, you can come back to it, and everything is on that same side of the field for him. They're not bringing a blitz, so he doesn't need to look for a hot on this play on this side of the field likely, but he has the matchup that he wants. Here comes Eric Kendricks. The only thing I would say is maybe St. Brown can just break this into the flat sooner, right? If he gets out there sooner, he probably creates a little more separation. Doesn't really get much separation here on the linebacker. It's a good play. The thing we know Hicks does have is straight line speed. We know he has some of that. You can see it on the film. And on this play, Hockenson kind of works up the steam, trying to create some space here. I would say maybe just break out a little bit sooner, but it's just well covered up. I can see why he wanted to throw that route, but it's covered up pretty darn well. And I mean, I don't know where else he's supposed to really put the ball on this play. I mean, you can lead him a little more, but again, you can't lead him too far because it's not the biggest target to throw to. So he tries to put it on him. Throws his fastball. It's a good play by the defender. And yeah, he could have came back, but he liked his matchup that he had, and it was broken up. Good play by the linebacker. This one is interesting to me because this one to me looks like a pre-snap. You can see he's talking to Craig Reynolds. He has a sense of what the coverage is going to look like. That is looking like man coverage on this play. You can kind of see by the levels that the defensive backs and the linebackers are playing. They're trying to create that space here over here. Look, see how they're playing different levels. Bam, bam. They're trying to create some space so that they can play man coverage here. So Goff has the sense that this is man coverage. It almost looks like a cover one type of look defensively, right? That's what it looks like with an edge blitz. That's what it seems to show. And what I like is that it looks like Goff pre-snap audibles to Craig. Hey, look, maybe, hey, run this flat route. Don't stay in the block. Just run out to the flats because they may be blitzing on here. They're showing that they could potentially blitz. If he does that, this is a lot of space, all right, a lot of space for him, but they don't. The linebacker ends up getting out on this. He still throws the pass, but I really like it. I like how he audibles this. Yes, he had the quick little check down here to St. Brown, as we've seen them run a lot of times. You may have picked up similar yardage, potentially, but I actually like this. He makes this audible at the line. He sees, again, the matchup that he likes. Craig Reynolds on linebacker, potentially, or potentially on a defensive back with a lot more space if they end up blitzing both of these guys. He either has the safety on him or this corner is going to have to adjust, and then TJ Hockenson is working on a safety, right? They're going to have to do some different things because this looks like man across the board. So what Jared Goff decides to do is changes it up a little bit. He throws this flat route up to Craig. It's a good ball. It really is. Good pass protection here to hold up. Puts it on him. Picks up about 6 yards on the play. I like that. It looks like an audible at the line to me, and I actually like that adjustment. Let's take a look at this, because as we said earlier, right, Lions like to run this speed out. So that's what they do. They run a speed out on Patrick Peterson. But now there's an adjustment, and to me, the more and more I look at this, it looks like something that Goff decided to do based on the routes that he has and what they like to run. You're running this drag route across. I think this is, who is this one on this one? No, you're getting Josh Reynolds here. Yeah, Josh Reynolds is matched up on a linebacker. You can see that pre-snap. That's what it looks like. So what I like is I like how Jared Goff, he does fake this as if maybe he was going to throw this, but I don't think he had many intentions of actually throwing this ball once he realized what the defense was doing. Now, Skipper is beat with a stunt, and I think one thing for Skipper, let's look at it from this angle real quick. One thing I think with Skipper is he's big. Like, I mean, look how tall the guy is. Look how high his stance is. That's tough for a guard. Usually you want guards to get intersects quickly and not be like that. He's a little top heavy, which makes it tough for him to pass off. Dagger has it, but he's a little slow to pass off here, and they end up hitting with that on the last drive. They end up hitting a stunt on him. So that can be a liability with him because he is a little top heavy. But watch this. Okay, so here we go. Goff is looking at this speed out as usual. Man coverage, all right? You see the man coverage. You got a cover one robber, it looks like, with the safety working down, cover one over top. Now look at this, though. Goff does not throw this pass. Maybe he didn't like it, or maybe he thought, look, pre-snap, if they're going to man, look what I got. I got Josh Reynolds on Kendricks. Now, what makes this huge is the fake, because if he doesn't pump fake this pass, Kendricks actually may cover this up pretty well. He's a good athlete. So let's take a look at how this works out. So Goff sets to throw this speed out, right? But Kendricks has his eyes on the backfield, and he's playing the crosser. Now, here's what you see. He feels like, you know, usually you have a linebacker to pass this off to, but Craig Reynolds is going to run out and swing out to the flats. So because he does that, and they're in man, like we saw earlier, this linebacker is going to take Craig Reynolds out of the backfield. So now you're one-on-one. You are one-on-one here with Josh Reynolds, and you got to like that matchup already. But then you throw on top that little pump fake that Jared Goff puts in there. Let's take a look at what this does to Eric Kendricks. This is pretty well done. I love this. Let's take a look at it. Here we go. All right, boom, set. You see the little fake? You see that fake? That holds Eric Kendricks because he's watching the quarterback's eyes and the receiver, because usually you would have that linebacker to pass it off to. He does not here. So you count that with the fake. Linebacker sits and holds. Goff comes back understanding that, look, this is man coverage. There's not going to be anybody over here because Craig Reynolds is taking that. Avoids the pressure. He knows all along where he wants to go with this football. And that's comfortability within this offense, and what you felt, and I think what you've seen in film study tendencies of this team, and what you've seen throughout the game. This is well done. Just take a look at this. Like, man, I love this. Let's take a look from this angle again. There is that pressure, so Goff has to avoid it. But he avoids it because, like we saw last year, when you have pressure but you know where to go with the football, it's much easier to avoid pressure and make something still happen. So here you go. Free rusher. There's the fake. Avoids the rush. Finds Josh Reynolds wide open. I mean, that might be the play of the day, I think, in the passing attack. And as you can see on this play, DJ Chark lined up on the ball in this bunch on the right side, but from an inside, not outside receiver position. You can see what that does to the slot corner. He's playing outside leverage, and he's funneling into that safety who's coming down into the robber roll. That's when I talk about what that speed from the slot can be an impact for the defense. There's an example. this a lot. It ended up leading to a field goal. Probably should have been some sort of flag. By the way, that flag that I put in the last video, I was like, hey, they didn't call one. They actually did, so I feel dumb. This one probably could have been called too, though. Lions go to their rollout. They like to do this. They did this last year with Josh Reynolds, if you remember. And they hit him on the sideline. He ended up toe tapping. Look, he's clearly like pulled on the top of the route. No worse than what Amani did. And Goff puts it up there. He gives him a chance at it. Probably should have been some kind of call. Regardless, it led to a field goal, so I won't focus too much on that. You can see what happened. Cover 3 look defensively for Minnesota. We can see they're doing a lot of this, a lot of safety in the box. You can see he's rotated down pre-snap. This is not even a post-snap look. He's already showing that pre-snap. So they go cover 3, sky left with Josh Metellus. Look at what Goff does on this play in this passing offense. It's pretty simple. They're going to run 2 drag routes right across the field of St. Brown and Josh Reynolds. But what's important to me, puts his eyes on the right side of the field, because if not, these linebackers specifically, these guys in zone coverage could pass this off and understand that this is the route they're trying to set up the whole time. So he has to start his progressions by looking this way. So here's the drag route. You got a swing route from Chark, which is going to take Metellus outside because that's his own responsibility. Peterson is going to be pulled by this deep route by TJ Hockenson because that's his responsibility, is the deep third. But he's also going to hold this linebacker utilizing his eyes, and we've been seeing that they've been carrying these slots a lot of the time anyway. But this linebacker is also going to get caught carrying TJ Hockenson, who's lined up in the slot here, which we've seen. All right, Goff, I go there, they carry. It's going to also pull Peterson out of the play. Now you have 2 guys that have to pass off 2 players, and it's pretty simple. There you go. Josh Reynolds basically just gets in the way, sets up a good route for St. Brown. Awesome play design. Pick up 8 yards. Be the throw of the day. I think when you just talk about the window that Goff ended up squeezing this pass into, look what they're showing. They're showing cover 6 once again pre-snap. You can see, okay, here's your flat defender, your cover 2, cover 4 over here. You can see it, how he's playing on the hashes. But look at this, is probably the throw of the day from Goff. Again, they go back to the split zone show, and you can see the linebackers are going to spread out. The difference is what the Lions are doing, I think, this time around, is they're getting a lot of depth with this. They're getting a lot of depth. So instead of worrying about maybe so much of, hey, throwing it over the linebackers, the Lions are creating plays that you have to throw it between the linebackers. We saw last year Goff would pull down a lot of plays that he had to throw over a linebacker. So the adjustment, it looks like to me, is, okay, let's try to find a way that we can open up the linebacker so you can put it right between them. How do they do that? Well, split zone, because what that does is it pulls this linebacker outside here, and this linebacker goes outside and pulls a little bit out here as well with the Swift immediately. On the play fake, and then also the route. So now you create this little hole in the coverage. It is a cover 6 look, so you have the deep safety over top. So you're going to have your receiver basically cut this route off hard in Josh Reynolds. So look how he runs this. He's going to allow him to get on top of him, but then he breaks this off quickly. Goff, this is probably the throw of the day. Money. I mean, I think that's probably his best throw, that throw, and we'll see if the other angle was pretty much exactly where the ball needs to be. On time, on target, play action is winning the day today, and it's leading to a lot of efficiency for the Lions passing offense. Look at this throw. I mean, that is money. That is money. Take a look at it. So they got Khalif Raymond in the slot. Safety works downhill, so man, zone, whatever. I mean, it looks like some zone to me on this play because of how Eric Hendricks ends up dropping. This looks like a zone look. Regardless, though, they're all going to carry their routes, and the Lions are doing something that they've done. And again, I like how it's set up because Goff's eyes can stay here, hold this safety, while at the same time, you could see that Kendricks is going to get pulled down by the running back because if he drops and gets depth, easy throw for Goff, he hits Jamal. So he can keep his eyes there, and then just watch Chark come right into the picture. He's one-on-one, and all he has to do is get on the inside. Chark has a lot of speed. Patrick Peterson does not have the scoot to keep up with that. And this is a pass that, yes, I would say that Goff missed it a little bit. We'll see it from the other angle, looks better. But I also think this is a ball that you would say he probably could have also caught that ball. It's tough, though, because he's running at full speed. I get it. And Goff leaves this a little bit upfield for catch and run. But this was not his best ball. But I think it's still catchable. I think that's catchable, but it's not his best ball. But it's a shot play the Lions started to try to start this drive out with. And as we know on this drive, Lions with 3 straight passes. This was off of the fumble, and they ended up punting. A lot of people were upset by that, and that starts it because you had a shot opportunity. You just did not connect for really the first time that we saw. Here, we're going to see a couple of looks at this cover 6 once again, and you can see the hole on this play in a cover 6, just like a cover 2. A lot of times that hole can be kind of that, little area between the cornerback and the safety, which is kind of what you get here. Because of how far he spread out, that's probably where this ball should have looked to go. You can see the vertical route here. Right here is where you're going to get the hole in the coverage. Goff, however, is looking on the opposite side of the field. He's looking underneath. He's going to throw this pass to Dion. He's going to throw this pass to Swift, I believe, out of the backfield here. And I can kind of see how you could expect that might work. The difference is the linebacker does not carry this route because they're running a cover 4 defensively here, so he passes that off to Swift. If he carries this like we've seen, this is going to be a lot of yards. He does not. Goff throws it. Still probably could have been caught. He took a hit. Still probably could have caught caught it for a few yards. But the hole is on the top, as you can see on that play. This one, you can honestly say the exact same thing. Same type of hole, same type of look defensively. The issue on this play is that Jared Goff doesn't have the time to look that way. So same type of deal defensively, right? He's going to allow him to get past. All right, you can swing this. You can try to fly this thing right into the hole. If you get a little bit of time, you can look this seam route and then try to come back to it. But as we know, there's pressure. Swift doesn't really get much connection here. When it's first originally chipped by T.J. Hockenson, I'll show you what I'm mean. T.J. Hockenson's in a chip hunter. But then Swift doesn't get any contact on him. Like, he takes way too steep of an angle, so now there's pressure immediately. It's a 3rd and 10. It's always tough, but we would like to see better blocking there. He picks up 3 yards on the scramble. This is a play that we had questions about. It was a 3rd and 1. The Lions decided to go to a shot play. They've been rolling their safety down. They're going to play man coverage because what have they been doing? And again, this is playing the tendencies, I think, if you're Ben Johnson. This is why you can argue that this play is not a terrible play call, even though I still don't like it, is that, hey, their tendency is on short yard situations, they're going to play man coverage. So that's what they do. They roll their safety down. You're getting a one-on-one on the outside. They get run-on-ones across the board, and yeah, could have looked this way, but he trusted his guy. And it's also kind of set up with a lot of routes they've been running. They only need a yard, so you would assume the cornerback's going to be kind of aggressive without safety help. Goff tries to set up a little down, out, and up here, and they've been running these speed outs. He doesn't bite, however, and he's not really open on this play. It's just not really open. I think maybe Goff could have put it more in front of him and gave him a chance to kind of try to run underneath it instead of trying to, like, at the catch point, because Patrick Peterson he's just in his hip pocket. There's really nowhere to put the ball on this play anyway. Maybe it's catchable, but it was just well played defensively. I don't like the play call personally, but you can kind of see based on the tendency why he may try something like that. Going to pass this route off, but everything is set up for that. So let's take a look at how this works out. Now look at this. You see that little pre-snap? What that does is he's telling his edge rusher, hey, go get some contact on Swift. Help me out, get some contact on him immediately. So he gets contact on Swift, grabs him, stows up that route. But that doesn't matter because the Lions need about 7-8 yards on this play. I think it's a 3rd down. And what the Lions are going to do, they're going to go bunch it on the right side of the formation. So here we go. Let's take a look. St. Brown's going to sit down and do this jerk route. But because of that, he can't just immediately run across the field. Why? Because if they're playing zone, then what that's going to do is this Eric Kendricks can help slide down, or they can carry it and he won't hesitate and sit for a second. So because of this seam route, Kendricks is going to carry for a second. All right, that creates space for St. Brown to run into. It times up perfectly. Like, this is beautiful timing with an injured St. Brown, I should say. Then he takes off. You have Sullivan just kind of sit for a second. He takes off. He doesn't know when you're going to take off. And Goff looks to the left, but I think realistically he never really even thought of throwing the ball over there. This is a play design. It's a great play design. The timing is on point. It's good pass protection again versus a 4-man rush. Actually made more of a 3-man rush. And there you go. Pick up a 1st down. This one hurts. All right, this is another one of the shot plays that we easily had. It hurts. It just hurts to see it, man, because we had it wide open. They just ran into each other, man. They just ran into each other. Cover 1 robber again. They keep sliding the safety down when we show run, which is the impact of it, and that's how you open up play action. So it's easy. The Lions have exactly what they want here. They have it. All right, you got 2 vertical routes, but I think one difference is St. Brown's not out there. Who is out there? Khalif is in the slot, and maybe that has something to do with the timing, but even more so, because the motion shows man coverage, even more so to me, is that he kind of gets held up on his route. Look right here. You see the contact? He doesn't get through the route as fast as Josh does. Why does Josh get through the route so fast? Well, I'll tell you why Josh gets through the route so fast. He has a free release. He's clean the entire route through. Khalif is not. And I think the idea is Khalif gets through his route first, because if Josh gets through it first and Khalif gets through it, it doesn't make the same sense. Khalif's got to get through this first. Well, as you can see, different receiver in, timing's a little off. There is contact. He slows down this route to the point where it's perfectly, they run into each other, and Goff already threw the football. He had him, man. Ooh, he had to address this because this was called as a flag, and I just threw it in there. My last video, I said this wasn't a flag. I feel bad because this actually was a flag. They called it, so good for them. Play action, they bit. Cameron Bynum was called for PI. Or not PI, it was called for defense holding, so we did get the 1st down. So my bad. I thought they didn't call it. I was frustrated, but they did call it, so anyways, I'll just show that. Okay, look at this final drive for the Lions, and then we'll wrap this thing up, man, for this passing offense. So the first play we had 45 seconds, no timeouts. Which is not ideal. They're going to go into cover 4 defensively, and then they start going back to their cover 6. So they bring a 4-man rush. They're going to try to hit us with this stunt, but I think a big part of that, you can see Hockenson gets a little bit of a chip, which is kind of an adjustment. Okay, so now take a look at this because I just want you to see what's happening here. All right. Dagger gets some depth, so he allows him to pass it off to him. Hockenson chips to slow it down and help out Skipper. It's like one of those ways you help out a guard. You never really think about helping out a guard. They did that here. Now, this one had a lot of things to it, but it's good pass protection, so it allowed it to have a chance. To me, I think Goff just put it behind him. He probably could have put him more towards the sideline, gave him a better chance, but it's also a great play by Kendricks. But I think you can actually see it better from this from this point of view. Stack your receivers. St. Brown's going to follow in the same tracks as, I think this is DJ Chark. Yeah, this is DJ Chark. You're going to follow behind him. All right, it's cover 4, so both guys are getting deep, and what that does is when he breaks off, they're both running and they're turning and running. Now he's going to have space here. Kendricks is also going to carry this route. Now there's a lot that also goes into this, is that first off, Goff is going to look at Hawkinson, and what that's going to do is it's going to make sure that Sullivan doesn't start dropping, getting depth. He's going to start to the right. All right, he's going to start to the right on this side. Actually, this is a cover 6 look, so I apologize. It's cover 6 again, so I just wrote down cover 4. I wrote it wrong. But anyways, he's going to start there. He's going to start there to, to hold the defense. Then he's going to come back to Hawkinson, which is going to force Sullivan to not get depth into that hole they're trying to create, and it's just incomplete. They create it. They do what they need to do. I think the pass probably should have just been a little bit more towards the sideline. This is unfortunate. As you can see here, there's a lot that goes into how they're setting this up. It's there. You can see the window. He puts it up when he needs to. It's great play by Kendrick. So, again, I mean, that's a tight window to throw into, and he probably could have put more outside. He probably didn't because of the Sullivan was there, and maybe he didn't bite down low enough where he felt comfortable with throwing this pass, more into his zone. Because again, you're trying to find this hole, right? He puts it a little bit too far inside. I think you got to kind of try to drop that in, but Kendricks is flying over there. It's gonna be hard to drop it in. You also need to throw a rope. That's just good coverage. Now Lions come back and get a big time completion for about 25 yards. They hit a dagger route, which after seeing their coverage and how they're playing cover 4 on this side and cover 6, they're playing cover 6. They hit a dagger route, which is another way that you can attack this, because again, these guys have to pass it off. And because Goff is looking to the right here, let's think about this. He's running a seam route. If they don't pass, like let's say for example, they pass this off and this safety jumps underneath on Josh. The seam route's wide open. Why? Because Goff held this safety at the top. So he does not. He stays on top of the route, which is going to lead to automatically your outside receiver with pass protection is going to be open. And they started to set up the chip again here, right, to try to slow down a potential, stunt. Again, they do that again. But that's just what happens here. Goff starts right, holds the safety outside. Now this route is open. Yes, it is open. But it's also, this route is open as well for a little bit more depth. So they set that up, but that's because he's trying to hold the safety, and the safety decides to, for whatever reason, come down. The seam is wide open for the bomb. That's their shot play, but the safety is disciplined. He understands that he's giving up the big play. The Lions are attacking it, however, with a great route combination, as well as Goff using his eyes for the play design. Sullivan's kind of in an underneath zone as the slot cornerback because of the defensive play type, and Hawkinson running this chip curl, and Goff, the subtle eye look there, pulls down Eric Kendricks, and then he goes right over top of that for the dagger. In their cover 6 defensively. All right, so here you go. On this side, you're going to get your cover 4 look. Now they switch it up, you can see on us, okay? On the side with multiple receivers, usually it's the other way around, a 3-by-1. Usually you play, I think a lot of times, usually teams play cover 4 on this side, but they're going to play cover 6 on this side. So you can see it changes it up a little bit for what Goff is seeing. They're going to go up, cornerback's going to get up on our outside receiver. It changes it up here because you basically have a 2-on-1, but what's tough is that because he's running this speed out, Josh Metellus, because they're playing cover 4, really actually doesn't have a responsibility over here. As he runs his out route, he has him immediately, but once he breaks out, it's basically 1-on-1. He knows Goff is always looking right. He stares this down on this play, and he doesn't have responsibility, so now he can start shooting over. Goff does not see that. You can see what he's looking at, right? You have, of course, this in route, but you also have your guy turned around at Josh Reynolds. He kind of had his pick. If he would have thrown it to St. Brown, he probably had a completion. He decided to go to Josh, but he doesn't see Josh Metellus sliding over here. Let's see it from this angle. All right, you can see what he sees right here, right? He's breaking. Okay, there's the window. There's my window. Linebacker carries. There's my window. It's wide open. He throws it, but he doesn't realize that Metellus, because of the coverage, he's got a free responsibility, and he makes a great play flying over here and getting in the way. He did have St. Brown. That one probably would have been completed, but you can see what he's looking at. He's looking for the chunk. And then this interception hurts because he didn't need to throw it. His best idea would have been throw it away, try to get a Hail Mary. As we can see on this play, now they're dropping into a similar coverage look, but it's the pressure that gets to them. Now I can see what they're trying to do, because on this side, where again they're going into that cover 4 look, look at what they're trying to set up here. So you're gonna have this deep, basically a deep curl route. Now what the idea is to me is that, hey, we run this, cornerback passes off to safety. He's trying to get him to drive down on Josh Reynolds, but he does not. But I think a big reason for that is the pressure forces Goff immediately out of the pocket, so he can't get him to drive down. So he could throw this ball, but he can't because the pressure, you'll see from the other angle. So if he drives down, great. We're going to try to run a deep crosser to Chark and get our shot play. If he does not drive down, we can throw that pass and try to get one more play. But as you can see, he puts it up there. Best thing for him probably would have been just throw it away, live to play another down. But he tried to put it up there, and they ended up covering it. They ended up not biting and driving down. Let's see how fast the pressure gets there. Here's one of those examples where he chips, but Dagger is not getting any depth on this play. And I think a big issue for that is now Skipper doesn't have anybody to pass it off to. So Dagger he's not passing it off to Dagger because Dagger is too far up, and now you get a free rush at the worst time. You can see, though, what they're trying to set up, because, again, if this safety bites, like, he could look at, if he had time in the pocket, he could look this, possibly fake it, safety bites. All right, I'm throwing this deep crossing route, deep post route necessarily to DJ Chark, and we're going to try to hit a home run ball, and it actually may have had a chance one-on-one. But he rolls out. Best case would have been to throw it away. He can't really throw because he's right-handed. He can't really throw this pass underneath to Josh, even though it looks open because of where he's at. Look at right here. You can't really throw it. I mean, he could try, but it's probably not going to go very well. Someone's probably going to jump in and pick it. He decides to turn his body and throw the Hail Mary ball, but yeah, they covered it up well, and that ended the game. So I think the biggest thing is, like, the play action was clear. Like, the effect of play action was clear in this game and what that did for us. But I think on top of that as well, we left some plays out there. It's unfortunate. Thought Goff played a pretty good game in this one as well. I thought it was his best game. I would have liked to see him finish that one a little bit better and just throw that away, live to play another down. But honestly, it shouldn't have came down to that. It really should not have. We've talked about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love the creativity. I love the way that we're getting different progressions in front of his face where he knows where to go with the football. And there was a play in here where they put Chark in the slot, which gets me excited. And Antoine has already said, you know, we're going to put J-Mo in different spots when he's back. So I'm so excited to see what it looks like, Chark and J-Mo, and being able to put one of those guys in the slot and what that does, because now you got to worry about that speed, and it's a bigger receiver. It's not like Khalif Raymond. But anyways, let me know your thoughts, comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.